Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you stay by subscribing to the channel so you become a part of this community so we can grow together. As you can tell by the title of this video, today I am back with a book haul. I have 21 books that I want to take you through. First off, let's cover where did I get the books. I got some of these books from Facebook Marketplace, Gumtree. I also thrifted some in town next to Woolworths. One of them was a gift. So okay, that's pretty much where all my books are from, and let's get right into the haul. First up, we have this book, Fear of Dying by Erica Jong. Okay, I might be butchering the surname, I'm not sure, but the moment I saw Jay, I was like, okay, might be. If it turns out that it's not, then I'm sorry. First of all, I love how it looks outside. Like the cover, it definitely looks inviting enough that I had to pick it up. And the fact that it was dealing with one of my fears, which is dying. Okay, it was definitely something I had to read for myself because I do relate to the topic. Now let me tell you something. When I first saw this book, I thought it was about how to get over the fear of dying, like when or your loved ones, or the fear of knowing that one day people will start speaking about you in the past. You will now be referred to as umzimba and no longer uzban man, like so I kind of related to that, and I thought this was going to help ease the anxiety or the fear of it all. So I thought it was going to give me like guidelines on how to deal with this fear, how to tackle it in your life. But after reading it, I was like, oh, actually it was such a fun take on the topic as a whole. Instead of giving you guidelines, it was kind of taking you through the life of the protagonist of this book. And you know what, let me read you the cover so you can understand what it's about. So Vanessa Wannerman is smart, sexy, and 60. After a lifetime of crazy families, New York high society, and playing a soap opera arch-villain bitch, she's not ready to give up yet. But life's not so carefree anymore. Her parents are dying, her husband's in hospital, and her wild child daughter is pregnant. So when she signs up to a casual encounters site, she's thinking of leaving her wild life behind, at least for a little bit. However, the most painful parts of your past always have a way of surprising you. Will she learn in time how to live, how to love, how to be fearless? Erica Young is back. Okay, that's the commentary. Erica Young is back as fearless as ever. That's the Washington Post. This bold soaring novel tackles the big stuff. Harper's Bazaar, trailblazing, and that's the time. Erica Young is also the author of the iconic bestseller, according to the cover anyway, Fear of Flying. I haven't read it. I would love to read it because I also need to get over that. Okay, for someone who dreams of being a globetrotter one day, I sure have a lot of fears that I need to tackle first, okay? And then, we have this commentary here at the front, which actually I relate so much to. It says, it made me feel more alive. Oh, this is such a lovely book, okay? I enjoyed every bit of it, and a lot of smart. It's definitely, oh wow. Look at this. I used this as a bookmark. Oh my goodness, this is actually a menu from an event I went to this other time. It's also a lovely one actually, because look at how beautiful it is. I had to put it to use, girl. So I absolutely loved this book. I enjoyed every bit of it, and it's definitely one of those that after reading you feel like you need to go cleanse yourself, your mouth, your thoughts, your mind, all of it, okay? Because I'm like, how do you read all of these spicy parts and be able to imagine what she's talking about? Like, you need to repent. You definitely need to repent. And I feel like we're starting on a very heavy topic because there's a lot of others that I could have started with, but this was like on the top. So yeah, but it was actually such a fun book. Okay, let me place it on the floor so that you pungule up. This one was a very like slow burn. Okay, I enjoyed it, I'm not gonna lie. Would I read it again? Like I would, but it definitely would not be my first pick, okay? It says, we were girls, of course, all of us girls. Imagine from the 6th train at 51st Street, all clad in variations on a theme, the nude skirt and sweater, redolent of Sylvia Plath at Smith. Years ago, as some of our parents pointed out, as my own parents endlessly pointed out, we would have been called secretaries. At 23, after leaving graduate school to pursue her dreams, of becoming a poet, Joana Rakoff moves to New York City and takes a job as assistant to the storied library agent. She spends her days in plush wood-paneled agency where dictaphones and typewriters still reign, and old-time agents doze at their desks after martini lunches, and at night she goes home to the tiny Brooklyn apartment she shares with her socialist boyfriend. Precariously balanced between glamour and poverty, surrounded by titanic personalities, Joanna is given the task of answering Salinger's voluminous fan mail. But as she reads the candid, heart-wrenching letters from his readers, she finds herself unable to type out the agency's decade-old form response. Instead, she begins writing back at her own words. Charming and deeply moving, filled with electrifying glimpses of an American library icon. Above all, it is a testament to the universal power of books to shape our lives. It's a good book, you know. It's definitely a good book, but it needs you to not be in a rush, you know, to just have all the time in the world to kind of read and take it in, and of which I didn't have the time for that when I had picked up. But I'm also that person who, if I start a book, I definitely need to finish it, okay? Otherwise, I will not feel good about not finishing it before picking the next one, okay? But I need to get over that and actually be able to put a book down, pick another one I find interesting, and then go back to it if I feel like it. Next up, we have this book right here by Lee Child, The New Jack Reacher. Jack Reacher gets off the bus in a sleepy no-name town outside of Nashville, Tennessee. He plans to grab a cup of coffee and move right along. Not going to happen. The town has been shut down by a cyber attack. At the center of it all, whether he likes it or not, is Rusty Rutherford. He's an average IT guy, but knows more than he thinks. As the bad guys move in on Rusty, Richard moves in on them. And now Rusty knows he's protected. He's never going to leave the big man's side. Richard might have to stick around and find out what the hell's gone wrong and then put it right. Only he can, okay? This is typical of Jack Reacher. That's definitely what happened on season 1 and season 2. I mean, if you did watch, okay, let me not talk about it much. In case you haven't watched it, I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's a good series. I enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it, that I watched it twice actually on Amazon Prime. So when I saw this book at Cash Converters, I should have mentioned this when I was mentioning where I got every book from. This one is from Cash Converters. It's brand new. I am going to enjoy reading this one. I had to get it because it was like 50 bucks actually, and that's expensive because these other books were about 10 rand, 20. For this to be 50 bucks, I'm judging myself. Okay, it's good. It's definitely good. It's promising. It's promising. I haven't read this one. I've read those two, but not this one. Let's move on to the next one. I couldn't resist getting books by my absolute favorite, Danielle Steel. One of my favorite authors, actually. So we have Silent Honor here by Danielle Steel. I have not read this one actually. After reading one of her books, Mixed Blessings, I was like, I need a break from this lady because yay, Mixed Blessings. Yeah, it was a roller coaster. Like it had me in my feels, okay? It had me in my feels. I had to and pick up a light-hearted book after that one. So I definitely need to go back to reading her books because I have not read this one. In her 38th best-selling novel, Danielle still creates a powerful, moving portrayal of families divided, lives shattered, and a nation torn apart by the prejudice during a shameful episode in recent American history. A man ahead of his time, Japanese college professor Masao Takashimaja of Kyoto, had a passion of modern ideas that was as strong as his wife's belief in ancient traditions. It was the early 1920s, and Masao had dreams for the future and a fascination with the politics and opportunities of a world that was changing every day. 20 years later, his 18-year-old daughter Hiroko, torn between her mother's traditions and her father's wishes, boarded the SS Nagoya Maru to come to California for an education and to make her father proud. It was August 1941. From the ship, she went directly to the Palo Alto home of her uncle Takeo and his family. To Hiroko, California was a different world, a world of barbecues, station wagons, and college. Her cousins in California had become more American than Japanese, and much to Hiroko's surprise, Peter Jenkins, her uncle's assistant at Stanford, became an unexpected link between her old world and her new. But in spite of him, all of her promises to her father, Hiroko longs to go home. At college in Berkeley, her world is rapidly and unexpectedly filled with prejudice, and fear. On December 7th, Pearl Harbor is bombed by the Japanese. Within hours, war is declared, and suddenly Hiroko has become an enemy in foreign land. Terrified, begging to go home, she is nonetheless ordered by her father to stay. He is positive she will be safer in California than at home, and for a brief time she is, until her entire world caves in. On February 19th, Executive Order 1966 is signed by President Roosevelt, giving the military the power to remove the Japanese from their communities at will. Takeo and his family are given 2 days to sell their home, give up their jobs, report to a relocation center, along with thousands of other Japanese and Japanese Americans, to face their destinies there. Families are divided, people are forced to abandon their homes, their businesses, their freedom, and their lives. Hiroko and her uncle's family go first to Tenforen and from there to the detention center at Pool Lake. This extraordinary novel tells what happened to them there, creating a portrait of human tragedy and strength, divided loyalties, and love. It tells of Americans who were treated as foreigners in their own land. And it tells Hiroko's story and that of her American family as they fight to stay alive amid the drama of life and death in the camp at Pool Lake. With clear, powerful prose, Danielle Steel portrays not only the human cost of that terrible time in history, but also the remarkable courage of a people whose honor and dignity transcended the chaos that surrounded them, set against vivid backdrop of war and change. Her 38th best-selling novel is both living history and outstanding fiction, revealing the stark truth about betrayal of Americans by their own government and the triumph of a woman caught between cultures and determined to survive. Sounds like I'm gonna need a lot of tissues and some ice cream and chocolate after reading that one. And then we have Legacy. Yo, I absolutely enjoyed this, but when I read this one, I felt like I could read, and then skip like a page or two, and then on the third one, I would be caught up from where I left off without even needing to read those 2 pages in the middle. Because it was doing this instead of just, it wasn't straightforward. I love this woman, but yay, sometimes when she writes, it's like, there is no need for you to explain, take me through what happened and explain, and then like, I get it. I'm sitting down with this book and I'm reading with my utmost best understanding. Like, I am present in this moment. I am understanding what you're saying. There's no need for you to. Okay, so A Tale of Love, Courage, and Family, interviewing the lives of 2 extraordinary women, a writer working in the heart of modern academia and a daring young Sue on an unforgettable journey in the 18th century. Someday is Bridget Nicholson's watchword. Someday she and the man she loves, Ted, will clarify their relationship. Someday she'll have children. Someday she'll finish writing her book. Someday she'll stop playing it so safe. Then something happens that changes Bridget's life completely. Struggling to plot a new course, Bridget agrees to help her mother on a genealogy project and makes a discovery that reaches back to the French aristocracy. How did Bridget's ancestor, Washiwi, a Dakota Sioux, travel from the Great Plains to the French court in Marie Antoinette? How did she come to marry into Bridget's family? Bridget decides to travel to South Dakota and Paris to follow the path of this exceptional young woman who lived so long ago. And as she begins to solve the puzzle of Wachiwi's journey, her quiet life becomes an adventure on its own. A chance at meeting a new opportunity put Bridget back at the heart of her own story. And with family legacy coming to life around her, someday is no longer in the future. Instead, someday is now. It was such a lovely book. I enjoyed it, okay? But like I said, can the storyline be linear instead of... I don't know why my books are always so clean. Like, I don't read them. I love my books to look and have a bit of character, man, because when I bought it, it was like this, and it's still like this now. Because why? I am dating my books a lot. But yeah, I do love thrifting my books because they come with a bit of story to tell, you know. I may never know why it has a stain like that, but someone out there maybe was chilling by themselves, enjoying a soup on a cold day and reading this lovely book. Maybe they decided, you know what, reading this book is far more important than reaching out to an ex. who is not worth your time. Like, you never know. I feel like, I don't know why I just came up with that. This is the book I was talking about, Mixed Blessings, okay? Yo, yabona lena. Okay, in Mixed Blessings, her 30th novel, Danielle Steel weaves a powerful tale of three couples who face decisions about having children that will test in unexpected ways the ties that bind them as lovers, partners, and friends. Their lives, their goals, their feelings about families are on the line as the word infertility begins to unravel their dreams. Diana Good and Andrew Douglas are a California couple who seem to have it all: glamorous careers, good looks, good times, and lives full of friends and family. After their wedding, Diana teases that she will make a baby on their honeymoon, but long afterwards, she is still not pregnant. Diana enviously watches her sisters effortlessly conceive as she shuttles between doctors' offices, and Andy struggles to find a solution to their problem in order to hold on to his wife. As they wait out each month with great anticipation, only to be bitterly disappointed, they are forced to question just how much they are willing to go through just to have a baby, and at what cost to their marriage. Unknown to Diana, damaged and scarred by an IUD when she was in college, she must face what this means to her. Diana and Andy reach out to surrogates, adoption, and lead a little life of desperation until they find the solutions that work for them. The beaming groom at Mason Winwood's wedding is Charlie Winwood. Having grown up an orphan, he dreams of a house filled with children and a happy family. His bride, fun-seeking actress Barbie Mason, has other ideas. She thrives on excitement and dreams not only of the joys of motherhood but seeing her name up in lights. Their marriage is strained, but Charlie is convinced that a baby will solve it all. But when his plan proves unsuccessful and he discovers that he is sterile, Charlie has to rethink his deepest values and his marriage to a woman who shares none of his dreams. And we have Pilar Graham, a prominent Santa Barbara attorney, astonishes her friends by marrying Judge Brad Coleman after living with him for 18 years. Brad, in his early 60s and the father of two grown children, and Pilar in her early 40s are happy with their comfortable life together, just the two of them. That is until Pilar begins to wonder if someday she will regret not having a baby with Brad. Are they crazy to begin now with Brad about to become a grandfather? It will only be an easy road for Pilar and Brad as they encounter the world of high-tech medicine and the bittersweet rewards it brings them. Through the lives of these couples, Danielle Steel shows us the mixed blessings we face as we make our modern families. But despite hardship and heartache, she reminds us again of the triumphant spirit of love. That was a lot to take in. So imagine how I must have felt when I was reading the book. Yeah, it was a lot. This is the book I was talking about, which I got as a gift from a former colleague. It's The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. Another one which I felt like the story was just not linear. I feel like if it went straight to the point, I would have enjoyed it thoroughly. But I did have some takeaways from this book. I would definitely recommend you to try it out if you haven't read it. You might have a thing or two to take away from the book, I promise you. So this one is by Robin Sharma. Okay, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. Nothing less than sensational. This book will bless your life. A captivating story that teaches as it delights. This is the incredible story of Julian Mendel, a superstar lawyer whose out-of-balance lifestyle leads him to a near-fatal heart attack in a packed courtroom. His collapse brings on a spiritual crisis, forcing him to seek answers to life's most important questions. Hoping to find happiness and fulfillment, he embarks upon an extraordinary odyssey to an ancient culture where he discovers a powerful system to release the potential of his mind, body, and soul, and learns to live with greater passion, purpose, and peace, brilliantly blending the timeless spiritual wisdom of the East with the cutting-edge success principles of the West. This truly inspiring tale has shown millions of people around the world how to live with greater courage, balance, abundance, and joy. Okay, it's a good book. I would absolutely recommend it. And how many pages is it? It's not that many pages actually. Let's see, 236. And I love that. Like I like the font is not that small. I absolutely enjoyed it, but took so long to finish it because again, I just like books that get straight to the point. Another one which has so many pages on it. Yo, guys, it's this one by John Birmingham. Okay, Weapons of Choice. World War 2.1, an excellent page turner. The future of the thriller has arrived from the past. Okay, Joana Rakoff, it's so long, I have not finished it. This is about where I am. Okay, this actually came with the book, so I went ahead and used it. Ooh, it's enjoyable, but it's so long. Okay, the impossible has spawned the unthinkable. In 2021, a quantum military experiment goes horrifically wrong. A multinational task force of an ultra-modern warships is suddenly transported back in time to 1942, right into the path of the US naval battle group bound for Midway Atoll. History is rewritten in an instant as the future smashes into the past and high-tech hardware goes head-to-head with World War II technology. In the chaos that ensues, thousands are killed, but the maelstrom has only just begun. The veterans of Pearl Harbor have never seen a helicopter or a cruise missile, let alone nanotechnology ceramic bullets and F-22 Raptor stealth jet fighters. Allied and Axis forces are then caught in a desperate struggle to gain the upper hand, each hoping to tip the balance with a fist full of 21st century firepower. What happens next is anybody's guess and everyone's nightmare. This book is so old, guys. It's from Bikini Beach Books. It's actually a bookshop that's in Gordons Bay that I would love to check out one day. Oh, I was about to tell you how old this book is. I think it's 2006. Let's check here just to be sure. 2004, it's that old. Next up, we have Saving Max. Okay, yo, this was too dark for my liking. What would you do if your son was accused of taking a life? Yo, the world thinks her son took a life. She's determined to prove them wrong. High-powered lawyer Danielle is at her wit's end. Her son Max, an ultra-smart 16-year-old with high-functioning autism, has always been a handful. She's shutting down using, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube, but lashing out. When Max is discovered unconscious and bloody beside a fellow psychiatric patient who has been brutally, it's hard not to question his innocence. In the face of accusations, Danielle swears to save her son from being destroyed by a system that's all too eager to convict, no matter what the consequences. So, the commentary says combines the tender, unshakable bond between mother and son with an action-packed, edge-on-your-seat thriller. It's good. It's too dark. But I finished it because I had to know how it ends, okay? That's the only reason it finished. Another one, The Crying Blue, yeah, by Paul Johnston, and Alex Mavro's novel. Creeping pace, a perfect holiday companion. It's good, okay, I enjoyed it. It's funny, also a bit dark, but in a funny way, I guess. Not as dark as the one I just put down, because you are Aliana. If you are a sensitive person, I would not recommend that book to you, but this one, I would. I feel like it would make a nice budget movie too. The Whitewashed Walls of Paradise hides acts of chilling depravity. When Alex Mavros is hired to find American tourist Rosa Ozal, I'm not sure. It looks like a straightforward missing person case from Athens-based private detective. Arriving on the Greek island where Rosa was last seen, he finds something deeply wrong. A British journalist has fled without warning, and a pair of young lovers has been found floating in a rigid, naked embrace amongst the fishing nets. The islanders are in no mood to answer the questions of the inquisitive outsider, but they do have other, more sinister motives for keeping Mavros in the dark. As he begins to unravel the mystery, Mavros discovers an island steeped in horrors beyond his wildest imaginings. A perfect setting for a tense thriller. This is an intelligent and satisfying book. Part contemporary thriller, part the dark sister of Captain Corelli's mandolin. and this is a comment by Scotsman. It really is, like this person said, gripping holiday companion. I would read this if I were like in a holiday, like a vacation, and I'm lying on the beach, you know, sitting on those sun loungers in a bikini in a hotel, like in a relaxed environment. Like when you're on vacation, you are relaxed, you are letting loose. Okay, not like letting loose as in drinking and dancing on tables, not like that. Like in the fact that you are just on Zen mode. I would definitely read this in that setting. Another one, which is a thriller kind of situation, we have Compulsion by Hilary Norman, also a good book. Frankie Bounce led a life of torment until she found the perfect career to suit her obsession with hygiene. As a cleaner, she could scrub away at her clients' homes, be paid and even valued for her pains. But Frankie suffers from other compulsions too. Above all, the need to have. Okay? The minute she saw Rose Bailey's house, she knew she had to have it, no matter what. But to an obsessive compulsive like Frankie, taking a life and its grisly, terrifying consequences are more than she bargained for. If she doesn't find somewhere new to live, Frank is going to lose her mind completely. Speech therapist Alex Levin and builder Jude Brown have both survived tragedies thrown together by a workmate's accident. They're both working hard at reshaping their lives, and sometimes hardworking people need a little help around the house. Alex has never met anyone who loves cleaning as much as Frankie Barnes, and Alex's home is the prettiest cottage Frankie's ever laid eyes on. So you did get the first part, right? Don't worry, Alex did survive this in the end, so don't stress about that. But yeah, she kept using that term, gotta have it. Another menu situation also used the bookmark, but yeah, I finished it. It was so good, actually. It was modest action, not gonna lie, but absolutely enjoyed it. We have two books here by James Patterson, okay? World's best-selling thriller writer James Patterson and Mark Sullivan. The Olympic Games are under attack. Only private, the world's most exclusive detective agency, can save them. The games have arrived in London and the stage is set for one of the greatest ever showcases of sport excellence. When Sir Denton Marshall, a key member of the London Olympic Organizing Committee, is found brutally, Peter Knight, head of Private London, is called into the scene. Private are working with the organizing committee on security for the games, so Denton Marshall was a valuable client. But there is a more personal link. Denton was also the fiancé of Knight's mother. Knight is devastated by Denton's passing, but it soon becomes clear that this is no isolated incident. The person who did this is targeting the games itself, and the lives of everyone involved are under threat. This is a good book. I enjoyed how it ended. Like it had a happy ending. I love a happy ending, guys. Life unzima as is, so I can't be reading izinto gruesome. When does an investigation come too close to home? Did I finish this one? I haven't started it. Oh, I finished it. Ah, I remember. I went to get my hair done when I read this and actually finished it. So, Detective Lindsay Boxer gets married, but a missing newborn and a series of violent attacks push the women's club back to full throttle before the wedding gifts are even unwrapped. For every secret, Detective Lindsay's long-awaited wedding celebration becomes a distant memory when she is called to investigate a horrendous crime. A teenage girl is badly injured and her newborn baby is nowhere to be found. Lindsay discovers that not only is there no trace of the criminals, but that victim may be keeping secrets. At the same time, the assistant district attorney is prosecuting the biggest case of her life, a woman who has been accused of taking the life of her husband in front of her two young children. Yuki's career rests on a guilty verdict. So, when Lindsay finds evidence that could save the defendant, she is forced to choose. Should she trust her best friend or follow her instincts? Lindsay's every move is watched by her new boss, and when the pressure to find the baby begins to interfere with her new marriage to Joe, she wonders if she'll ever be able to start a family of her own. With James Patterson's white-hot speed and unquenchable action, 10th Anniversary is the most deliciously chilling women's London club book ever. Another good one. It had a good ending. I read it so long ago actually, but I don't have bad memories about this one. And then we have Ravensdale Spring. The one thing I loved about this book is that it wasn't only about the main character. ne partner yakhe. It wasn't just about that. There were also other people that were involved on this main character's life, and I got to hear about how their lives impact the life of the main character. You know how sometimes when you have the main character and you have the main character's family, and the only thing you ever see or read about is just them. And then, as much as you hear about other people who also live in the same place, you never get to hear about how this main character and their family interact with the whole neighborhood or people who are also mentioned on the story. What I love about this one is that everyone here is involved in some way in each and every person's life that's been mentioned in this book. And it also had a happily ever after situation, so it's a good book. These two are from Onswinkel. I'll just write a list as I go on about where the books are from. In the North Yorkshire medical practice of Hawkshead, changes are in store for Dr. Laura Grant, the newcomer to the practice. Dr. Piers Chandler is keen to make his mark, but in his haste to change old ways, he rides roughshod over Ravensdale's more conservative inhabitants. Soon, however, there is a far greater problem for Laura to contend with. While treating two children for leukemia, Laura begins to wonder whether this is too much of a coincidence. Could fallout of a leakage from a coastal nuclear processing plant be to blame? Before long, emotions run high as an inquiry gets underway and villagers start to take sides. I feel like there's very few commas here. Yet, for Laura, there is worse to come when, in her desire to ease suffering and, where possible, save lives, she finds her own life in grave danger. Set in the beautiful Yorkshire Dales, the Ravensdale series reveals the drama of ordinary lives in a rural community, seen through the eyes of Dr. Laura Grant, a young GP who has recently joined the practice of Hawkshead. It was a good book. Definitely would recommend it if you would ever see it. Because I only found I feel like it's an old book. Let me check how old it is. Wow, 1999. Wow. Okay, you see this book, guys, it broke and molded me and then broke me back again, because I first watched the movie The Shack, and then I spotted this book in town. There's this vendor next to Woolworths in town, which is where I thrifted this book, and the others which I keep mentioning, they are from town, like this one. So it's a good book. I feel like I had some questions of my own, before reading this book. Things I've always wondered, that this book answered. But the main event which takes place in this book, which is the passing of the child, I still don't understand why it had to happen. And that's the only thing I feel like after reading this book. I didn't feel like it consoled me, because when I did watch the movie, I knew how it ended. I knew what had happened, okay? But when I saw this book, I thought maybe it ends differently, like there's some kind of, I get some kind of clarity, okay, and understanding as to why it had to happen. Sometimes we do lose people we love, né? And we always question why this person, why him or why her, and you just don't understand why it had to happen. And I still don't get why the child had to pass. Why uNkulunkulu engamkhuselanga? Why didn't uNkulunkulu protect her? I don't understand why some things have to happen, I guess. Let me just put it like that. Maybe I will have an answer one day. Or maybe if you have the answer, please let me know. I don't understand why some hurtful things or some things have to happen in Mhlabeni. I don't get it. I mean, God is omnipresent. He knew us before we were born, before we were formed in the womb. I'm not questioning faith or anyone's faith, but I'm wondering now as a person why some things have to happen. I feel like some things could be prevented from happening. And the fact that what happened here was not prevented, despite the father making it to heaven and actually meeting God and asking why it had to happen, the response he got didn't console me. Okay, it didn't make me feel like, okay, now I understand why it had to happen. It didn't. Okay, let's read the synopsis, because I feel like I just got into my feels. It definitely left me in my feels, Commentary. This book has the potential to do for our generation what John Pilgrim's Process did for his. It's all good, okay? The Shack, where tragedy confronts eternity. This story reads like a prayer, like the best kind of prayer, filled with sweat and wonder and transparency and surprise. If you read one work of fiction this year, let this be it. Okay, an exceptional piece of writing that ushers you directly into the heart and nature of God in the midst of agonizing human suffering. Mackenzie Allen Phillips' youngest daughter Macy has been abducted during a family vacation, and evidence that she may have passed is found in an abandoned shack deep within the Oregon wilderness. Okay, 4 years later, in the midst of this great sadness, Meg receives a suspicious note, apparently from God, inviting him back to that shack for a weekend. Okay, against his better judgment, he arrives at the shack on a wintry morning and walks back into his darkest nightmare. What he finds there will change Meg's life forever. Okay, in a world where religion seems to grow increasingly irrelevant, the shack wrestles with the timeless question: where is God in a world filled with unspeakable pain? The answers Meg gets will astound you and perhaps transform you as much as it did him. You'll want everyone you know to read this book. Okay, I would love for everyone I know to read this book, and then maybe we can come together one time and we talk about it. Share our understanding of this story. I know it's a fictional story, but I feel so touched, and I feel like I'm going to read it again. I know I watched the movie, I read the book, and I still wasn't consoled. Maybe I was so emotionally charged, like I read it with so much emotion. When I read it again, I need to maybe try to read it with logic in mind so that I can understand it better without bringing emotions into it. I feel like I want to understand what the message is, okay, in the end. Okay, The Things We Do for Love, okay, by Lisa Appignanesi, an intriguing romantic thriller from the acclaimed author of A Good Woman. If you're searching for that ultimate treat, an enthralling novel that won't insult your intelligence, then Lisa Appignanesi would just be the ticket. I haven't read this book. I don't even know how it ends, but it seems like one of those you need to apply yourself when you're reading it so that you don't miss anything. How well do you know the person you're married to? First off, the girl. Tessa and Stephen's marriage is quietly foundering. She wants a baby. She doesn't mind how. Stephen refuses to talk about it. Tessa can't think about anything else. When Stephen leaves for a conference in the New Genetics in Paris, Tessa impulsively, uncharacteristically, decides to follow the trail left by a seductive voice on the answer phone. Tracking Stephen, Lisa blunders into a world of new desires and old debts and a mysterious network of contacts, overt and covert, from Paris to Prague, through which information has been disseminated since Cold War days. But now, the political barriers are down, free enterprise is sweeping the scientific community, information is power, and Stephen is a principal player in an emerging order. As frontiers shift, geographic, scientific, personal, so does the balance between sexes. The things we do for love become more unpredictable than passion itself. I feel like this is definitely one where if I'm reading it, I need to apply myself and read with understanding and read thoroughly and not just browse through and then feel like, oh my god, I didn't even get how this book ended. No. Okay, we have Charles Dickens' complete works. Okay, this is my first book by Charles Dickens, by the way, and the moment I saw it, I knew I had to have it. I love how aged it looks. It looks so loved and cherished, and in a history. It has history, guys. Oh, it even has drawings or pictures on it. When I got it, actually, I was told I needed to get the others before I can read this one. So I haven't read it, actually. I don't even understand what it's about because I haven't read anything from it. And I don't have the cover, which actually has the synopsis on it. But I decided, let me get it because it was actually 10 rand. Such a good find. And then we have these. Like I said, guys, I absolutely love books that make me feel like I need to repent after reading them. I need to go have my eyes washed, my mouth, my thoughts, my mind, the whole minje, okay? So I got all 4 of them for 80 Rand. I also got to have this one, guys. I didn't know there are books where you can read from Christian's words or perspective. So when I got this one, I was like, what? I thought it was the 4th one. So we have 50 Shades of Grey. I'm sure we all read it, okay? We've even watched the movies. I mean, I didn't watch the movies first. I only got these recently, okay? And I absolutely loved them. And I'm going to read them. Now I know I need to get 2 more books because I only have this one. So we have 50 Shades of Grey, romantic, liberating, and totally addictive. True that. This is a novel that will obsess you, possess you, and stay with you forever. When literature student Anastasia Steele interviews successful entrepreneur Christian Grey, she finds him very attractive and deeply intimidating. Convinced that their meeting went badly, she tries to put him out of her mind until he turns up at the store where she works part-time and invites her out. Unwittingly and innocent, Anna is shocked to find she wants this man, and when he warns her to keep her distance, it only makes her want him more. But Grey is tormented by inner demons and consumed by the need to control. As they embark on a passionate love affair, Anna discovers more about her own desires as well as the dark secrets Grey keeps hidden away from public view. And then we have 50 Shades Darker, okay? Daunted by the dark secrets of the tormented young entrepreneur Christian Grey, Anna Steele has broken off their relationship to start a career with a US publishing house, but desire for Grey still dominates her every waking thought, and when he proposes a new arrangement, she cannot resist. Soon, she is learning more about the harrowing past of her damaged, driven, and demanding 50 Shades than ever thought possible. But when Grey wrestles with his inner demons, Anna must make the most important decision of her life. And then there's a sticker again, not above the last line, and I can't read that. And then lastly, we have 50 Shades Freed. When Anna Steele first encountered the driven, damaged entrepreneur Christian Grey, it sparked a sensual affair that changed both their lives irrevocably. Anna always knew that loving her 50 Shades would not be easy, and being together poses challenges neither of them had anticipated, okay? Anna must learn to share Grey's opulent lifestyle without sacrificing her own integrity or independence, and Grey must overcome his compulsion to control and lay to rest the horrors that still haunt him. Now, finally together, they have love, passion, intimacy, wealth, and a world of infinite possibilities. But when it seems that they really do have it all, misfortune and then I can't read that part because there's a sticker. Since we have 50 Shades of Grey here, and then we have Grey, which is the first one. See the world of 50 Shades of Grey anew through the eyes of Christian Grey. In Christian's own words, and through his thoughts, reflections, and dreams, E.L. James offers a fresh perspective on the love story that has enthralled millions of readers around the world. Christian Grey exercises control in all things. His world is neat, disciplined, and utterly empty until the day Anastasia Steele falls into his office. In a tangle of shapely limbs and tumbling brown hair, he tries to forget her, but instead is swept up by a storm of emotion he cannot comprehend and cannot resist. Unlike any woman he has known before, shy, unworldly Anna seems to see right through him. Past the business prodigy and the penthouse lifestyle to Christian's cold, wounded heart, will being with Anna dispel the horrors of his childhood that haunt Christian every night? Or will his dark desires, his compulsion to control and self-loathing that fills his soul drive this girl away and destroy the fragile hope she offers him? This is why I feel like I need the 2 books that I'm missing, okay? And I'm definitely going to have to buy them from a bookstore because he didn't have them, so I can get how it ends. I do know how it ends barely from Anna's perspective, but I need to understand from Grey's perspective as well, okay? I need to understand it because it's so good, okay? I feel like if you enjoyed the movie and the books from Anna's perspective, you definitely need to get these as well because I feel like it's so eye-opening, man. It's gonna be nice to kind of get the best of both worlds. Okay, so yeah, that is it for this book haul, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed filming it, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask away in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to get back to you. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, okay, so you can stay and be part of this community, so we can grow together. Okay, and I'll definitely be seeing you all in the next one. Bye.